So guys, welcome back to lesson 5. So in this lesson 5, we're going to be dive into this. We are still under calculus, and we're still under differentiation, and this lesson 5 we're discussing about implicit function. Okay, how to differentiate question when you give the question in implicit form. So what does it mean by implicit function? Implicit function is a process of differentiating two variables simultaneously. Not like before, you make y. Like before, we have been solving the we are still differentiating. We are giving a function like, for example, like y is equal to s. Let me s is part of 2, like that. Okay, it will be is equal to y like that, or s power 2 like that. But we are not differentiating both y and s simultaneously. But this implicit function, you differentiate what this both s, this y and s. That is for this implicit function. Okay, the both variable y and the both variable what s will be differentiated at the same time. That is what implicit function. For example, if a question is given like this, if they're given a question, I just want to make one as an example for us. So, if we're given an expression in mathematics, so this is not, I just use an example. So, if I give an example in example, we say that to differentiate x squared plus y squared is equal to 4. So we're told to differentiate this question. If you look at it, on not like the previous one, like the one we'll be solving the question, the products, it's not like this one, is not like that. Again, this one is we are differentiate both words we differentiate both s and y at the same time simultaneously, not like before where differentiate just only s. Now, and the question has to find what? To find the y, want to differentiate the y, okay, the s of this question. We're trying to find what? The y, the s of this question. The question, this kind of expression, it is called implicit function. Now, how do you differentiate it? There's a thing to take note when you're differentiating the what implicit function. When you're differentiating this kind of question, like implicit form, if you're differentiating your cause the variable y, you only add what? Multiply by dy ds. I get on. If you're differentiating the variable y, you add dy ds to it, or you multiply it by dy dx. After you differentiate it, this y with respect to, after you differentiate this y, you add what? Dy ds to it. What did that mean by that? Let's look at the way we can solve this expression. Let's look at the way we can solve this expression. Now, let's sort of first, let's differentiate what the, okay, let me write the expression. I have s what? S squared plus y squared is equal to 4. Okay, now let's differentiate the this part, and this part. We differentiate everything together. Now let's differentiate this one with respect to s, because it said that you find what the y ds. So let's differentiate this one with respect to s. Since we differentiate this one with respect to s, so if you know that if you differentiate this s square, this two, this index multiply by the base and we subtract 1 from this what index that means that we have 2 times s that's given. If we differentiate this one, we have 2 or 2s. Okay, we have 2s and we subtract 1 for the index that be what that is mean that we have 1, that s is power 1. So I don't need to be writing the base power 1. So when the s square is equal to what? 2s plus. Now let's go to this one now. We want to differentiate this one with respect to s. Since s is not included there, so we differentiate this one with respect to s and you multiply by what? Dy ds. Because s is not included here, you have to differentiate it with respect to y, and you will multiply it by what? Dy ds. So just take note that if you are differentiating any function of y, okay, if you differentiate any function of y, or not this implicit function, you are differentiating with respect to s, you are differentiating with respect to s, you have to add what? Dy ds to it. You have to multiply your answer by dy ds. So when you differentiate this y with respect to y, we are this with respect to y, that will be equal to this 2 multiplied by y here, like what? 2y with power of 1, because minus 1 here, it will multiply by y. Multiply by, it will be multiply by what? Dy ds. The y ds. So anytime you are differentiating, anytime you are differentiating your y, always add what? Multiply the y ds to it. I get now. So that be equal to, now let's differentiate this. This is a constant. It does not have any s, so that be equal to 0. I get now, it does not happen here, that will be equal to 0. Now, in this part now, let's we want to find, so let's find the y ds, and we have our dy ds here. So we want to make the y ds formula. So you take this word, this 2s to the other side there. So if you take the other side there, we have 2y here, dy, okay, ds to be equal to. So when you take this on the other side there, we turn to what? Minus, okay. So we minus 2s, we have minus what? 2 what s. Now we're trying to find what the y ds, so that means that I want to make what the y ds as a formula. So you have to divide both sides by the coefficient of the y ds. What are the coefficient of the y ds? That is what? 2 that is 2y rather. So divide both sides by what? By 2y, divide this side by 2 what? Y. I get it. So this 2y, we cancel this 2y here. So it now remains what? That it be equal to, that is what we have the y, we have the s to be equal to, that is that we have minus 2 what? S divided by, that is 2y. Now, if you look at it now, 2 is common to both sides. This 2 can cancel this 2 here. So that means that we have what? That means that we have our dy, okay, ds, it will be equal to, that is minus what? S over y. So that will be the answer. So if you're differentiating things, is equal to what? The y ds is equal to minus s over y. That is how it is being solved. So that is step by step. Just take note. The most very important thing to take note here, when you are differentiating a question, you are differentiating both variables s and y simultaneously. If you differentiating simultaneously, you have to multiply. After differentiating this y, you have to multiply by what? By dy ds. Anywhere you see y, you have to multiply what? By dy ds after you differentiate it. So that is what they did there, and that is step by step to solve implicit function. I get now, that is step by step to solve what? Implicit function. So let's look at one more example. Let's look at one more example. So before I will call it today. So let me take an example on the other days for better understanding. I know guys, you may still be confusing, but let me more did my example. So let me give the example. We have so let's say this second example, that is example 2. So if we give the expression that we have minus s, okay, minus s plus y, okay, is equal to 0. Minus s plus y is equal to 0, and we're told to find what the y, okay, the s. We're told to find the y, the s, and we give you this expression here. So this is the example of implicit function, because we're solving what? Two variable. We want to differentiate two variables simultaneously at the same time. So like what I did here, so let's differentiate this. If we differentiate this s here, yes, if you change this s here, the this s is upon 1 here, which is not visible. So 1 times minus 1 times s here, that gives us minus 1. So when you differentiate what? This s will give us what? 1. Okay, let me make the solution. So when you differentiate this s here, we have what? Minus 1. Okay, plus. Now let's differentiate this what? Our y. If we differentiate this y here, is equal to 1. Okay, but the one I told you that when you're differentiating y, you have to what? Multiply by what? Dy ds. Okay, multiply by dy ds. So therefore, this one to be equal to, when you differentiate this y here, that be equal to what? 1. That 1 multiplied by what? Dy, okay, ds, and to be equal to, we differentiate 0. If you differentiate this 0, is also equal to what? 0. Now this one also will be equal to. Now if you like what that, okay, let me just multiply 1 times this, that gives us minus 1, plus that is the y, okay, the s equal to 0. Now from this place now, try to create space. Now from this place now, we can make it that from this place now, let's find the y, the s. Let's take this order to the other side here. That means that we have the y, okay, the s to be equal to. So when you take this on the other side there, that gives us as 1. So it means that this question, if we say that minus s plus y is equal to 0, the y, the s is equal to what? 1. So that is the step by step to solve this implicit function. If you give it the friend of implicit question, this is step by step to solve it. So I'll still treat more example. Okay, I'll drop a link in the description below and the comment section to see more example to see how it's been solved under this. So if you have any question, you can let me know in the comment section, or you can join our WhatsApp group, our WhatsApp community, where you can learn various mathematics questions daily. Thank you, and don't forget to give a like. So let's meet in another class for another interesting mathematics class like this.